Come with us to JFK Airport in New York City for the first ever Delta Airlines daytime flight from JFK to Charles de Gaulle in Paris. We believe daytime flights to Europe are awesome when traveling with kids, or even without them. And here's why we planned our whole spring break to Paris, because of this new schedule being offered on this day. This is the first ever inaugural flight, the very first one ever that Delta is. Oh no, don't, please don't. The internet is forever. But this is the first inaugural flight for the daytime flights from JFK to Paris. So we get to see what it's like, and I see balloons in the distance. We didn't know if our 8 a.m. flight would involve any kind of celebration for the inauguration of this schedule, but just the sunrise alone was worth the early morning. And as we approached the gate, there seemed to be a lot of staff gathered for a little party. So it's Easter Sunday, sunrise, and there are a lot of travelers for spring break, and it's very funny to me how you can tell all the college kids are at the gate for San Juan, and select group of folks going to Paris today with us, and then some folks with Disney bags and things like that. Not over, international, but all kinds of things we saw on the air train. It's funny to watch what everyone is doing for their spring breaks. And I think there's a big party going on. In just a few weeks, the Olympics will be taking place in Paris, and they're preparing for a lot of travelers to see the games. So the party theme was all gold medals, Eiffel Towers, French pastries up for grabs. And now we have some fun free souvenirs to remind us of our time in Paris and to help us cheer on Team USA in the Olympic Games. The crew mostly seemed to be there for the coffee. But we collected the usual kids' coloring book packet, and soon it was time to board the flight. There she is.
This is the inaugural Delta day flight to Paris, JFK to CDG, and this flight is in place to celebrate the Olympics 2024. It's not the Olympics yet, but we're getting rared up. So we're here on Easter Sunday, March 31st, 2024, on the very first flight taking this route.
With everybody else.
Yeah, there's no one else on this plane. There's like a third full. I don't know if it's because it's the first one. I don't know if it's because people don't like taking day flights, which I think they're fools not to like day flights. I don't know if it's because it's Easter Sunday. I have no idea. But the flight is only a third full. So we're in a 767-400, maybe a 400 ER. I'm not 100% sure. It's funny. They were handing out cards in the gate, but they were handing out cards for the 767-300, not the 767-400. I was going to call shenanigans, but I was grateful for the card, so it didn't matter. We are sitting in Comfort Plus. If you're curious about how we did this, we hacked this the way that we have in the past, where some of us pay for Comfort Plus, whereas others of us get upgraded to Comfort Plus. If you're at all interested in that, go ahead and click above. We've got a whole video on how we do that and strategize around it. I personally prefer day flights because you can get up. I'm an early riser anyway, so I get up in the morning, I'm able to get to the airport, get on the flight, and I just spend the whole day working. And then as soon as you land in Europe, you just have a little bite to eat, and you close the shades, put your mask on, take a melatonin, and fall asleep. And then the very next morning, you're like completely caught up. As opposed to when you do a red eye, you're uncomfortable, you toss, you turn, you get 3.5 hours of sleep, particularly if you're on the western side of Europe. You get very little sleep, and then you just have jet lag for your entire vacation. Not worth it. The reason why people prefer the red eye is because they're like, oh, I'm not wasting a day. I'm just sleeping away my flight so that I don't have to spend a day of my vacation on my flight. I get it, but the jet lag isn't worth it.
Listen, we know you will experience some jet lag no matter what. We're just saying this is better. Give us a like if you agree. It's a long enough flight that you still get a blanket and pillow, and in Comfort Plus, we get this travel kit. We did find the crew to be super attentive in a kind of French way and excited about the first flight. The notes were sweet, but it was time to say goodbye to New York and take off for Paris. As a gluten-free, dairy-free, and vegetarian family, we want to share what we ate on board. You aren't able to select meals for multiple allergens, but we had pretty good luck on this flight with the gluten-free option, which we pre-requested. Shortly after takeoff, breakfast was served, and the Udi's bagel, carrot sticks, and fruit salad all worked for us. The entree, though, had both meat on the side and cheese in the eggs, so we passed on that. But I brought some vegan cheese and a topping for the bagel in our packed snacks, so we were all happy with the meal. I kind of thought the point of a daytime flight was to stay awake, but they did lower the lights and close the windows for most of the flight. The kids still stayed awake for the most part with the movie options on the in-flight entertainment. And since Nick's mom was with us, we had 3 adults and 3 kids, so we arranged our seats in pairs. Shortly before landing, we were served a second meal, and this one was a slam dunk for our dietary needs. A roasted veggie sandwich on gluten-free bread. It was warmed nicely and had a really good flavor. After just over 7 hours, we were landing in Paris. How was your flight?
I get it. I mean, it's late here, but I feel fresh as a spring daisy because it's only 3 in the afternoon back home, and so I feel really good. And usually you feel kind of hungover after a long haul flight. These daytime flights are great. We'll see how I feel tomorrow morning.
What an incredible flight. The flight was really fantastic. The food was good. The service was really good. It really helped that only a third of the plane was full, so there was no pressure on their side either.
Tell me about the other benefit we learned about.
Oh, you take the day flight and you arrive at 9:30. There is no one in line with you at immigration. It takes you about 10 seconds to go through immigration.
There were 3 parties at immigration.
It was so easy.
So nice. Easy peasy.
While booking this flight was the reason we came to Paris, we still have lots of French adventures to show you, starting with Disneyland Paris next time. We'll see you then, travelers.